It's an amazing thing that we're here and that we've been given this gift of this planet.
Put your hand up against the sky in the dark and consider what it is to be human on this small space and to be so small.
And I'm a speck, but I hope to be a contributing speck.
Humans are just one of the many billions of life forms that have been lucky enough to call this planet home. But sooner or later, that luck will run out. In fact, over 99% of the species that had ever existed on Earth are now extinct. Every one of these billions of species had one thing in common. They couldn't see it coming, until now.
I'm worried about the next asteroid. These are the things that can render us extinct.
A gamma ray burst is as massive as an explosion can be.
From the most powerful forces in the universe to creatures so tiny, they are invisible to the naked eye.
Pandemic flu could just be extraordinarily devastating to our society.
But for all the fury nature wields, it turns out we are our own worst enemy.
Biggest threat that we face as a race probably is ourselves.
I think a third world war.
Atomic bombs or global warming.
Terrorism or biological warfare.
A countdown. Some of the world's top scientists guide us through 7 of the deadliest threats to humanity.
The planet is changing before our eyes.
We could kill 8 billion people. There are only 6 billion on the planet.
It would boil off, essentially, the whole top of the Earth's atmosphere.
I don't want to be around for that day.
The 7 deadliest threats to humanity. Some can destroy civilization. Others have the power to render us extinct, to bring humans face to face with their last days on Earth.
For thousands of years, religions, great and small, have been warning believers about Armageddon. Christians, Muslims, Jews all preach that the final days will be marked by chaos, violence, and destruction beyond imagining. But only recently have scientists been able to come up with their own apocalyptic scenarios. We're taking you on a journey that's both breathtaking and terrifying. Top scientists from around the world will paint riveting pictures of 7 deadly threats, from the least likely to the most imminent. Some are not likely to happen in our lifetime, but they could wipe out future generations. And by acting today, we could dramatically change our ability and that of our children and grandchildren to survive.
The largest threat that humanity faces is...
The greatest threat to humanity is...
The largest threat to humanity now would be terrorism.
Nuclear bombs.
Probably a virus.
Waste of natural resources.
It could be an asteroid, a comet, gamma rays. The end of the world is possible.
It's more than possible. It's likely, but the question is when and how.
Scientists say in 10 billion years, our sun will die, and so therefore will we. Of course, stars die every day, and that's where we begin our countdown, at number 7. Sometimes, when stars perish, they unleash the most powerful force in the universe, a radioactive light brighter than 1,000,000 trillion suns. Imagine if that power were unleashed upon us.
Not enough people take pause and reflect on our true place in the cosmos. We like to think of ourselves as having power over our fate. No, not yet, at least. The powers of the universe vastly exceed any powers we wield.
The power of nuclear gamma radiation has long been thought of as mankind's deadliest weapon. But in the early 1970s, American scientists discovered that the power was not man's alone. While searching for evidence of Soviet nuclear testing, NASA's spy satellites began sending back readings of abnormally high radiation, far greater than any bomb the U.S. had ever seen. Scientists immediately tried to pinpoint where on the planet the blasts were originating.
But to their astonishment, they found that these bursts of gamma rays were not coming from the Earth, but were coming from space. Completely unexpected.
Scientists trained their satellites on the cosmos and started searching for the source of what they now call gamma ray bursts.
Gamma ray bursts are fascinating, cosmic enigmas. They are the most energetic things we have ever seen or measured.
These are the biggest explosions the universe has seen since the Big Bang itself. It's as massive, essentially, as an explosion can be.
Gamma ray bursts occur in a few milliseconds to several hundreds of seconds, and during that time, the energy they put out is actually more energy than the whole universe in the same period of time.
A gamma ray burst is the final collapse of a star. Every piece of the star is simply falling toward the center all at once. It gets incredibly dense, it gets incredibly hot, all sorts of nuclear reactions start to happen, radiation starts spewing out all over the place. It's just a maelstrom.
We see about one a day going off in some galaxy somewhere in the cosmos. These gamma rays are at safe distances. They're just cosmic curiosities in the night. But suppose a gamma ray burst happened nearby, in our own galaxy. I don't want to be around for that day.
Because gamma ray bursts travel at the speed of light, towns around the globe would have no warning that a cosmic disaster was about to unfold.
If a gamma ray burst bursts, it'll be the brightest thing in the night or day sky. Won't be one sun in the sky, you'll see two suns. You'll know something bad is happening.
Although the closest star to the Earth that could explode is 8,000 light years away, even at that distance, a burst headed toward Earth would be catastrophic.
What it would do is it would boil off, essentially, the whole top of the Earth's atmosphere. And the consequences of that are very drastic.
First thing they'll do is take out our ozone layer. Completely take out all the ozone. Once you do that, by the way, the ozone is our defenses against high-energy radiation. So if that shield gets knocked out, we are bare.
Without the protection of the ozone layer, everyone around you, even those hiding in their basements, would begin to get what looked like a bad sunburn from the gamma radiation as it penetrated into the Earth's crust.
This is light, has enough energy to completely decompose the molecules that are the stuff of life.
Temperatures would rise dramatically. People outside would be burnt by the ultraviolet radiation. Without an ozone layer, anything with eyes would eventually be blinded. We're talking about the end of all life as we know it.
Within days, the radiation would begin to impact every living thing on a molecular level, stopping all cells from reproducing. Our fingernails and hair would stop growing, and worse, the cells in our intestines would stop regenerating, leaving us unable to absorb food or water.
Most of the living things on the planet, plants and animals alike, would not survive that kind of radiation.
After 1 month, almost all life would be gone from the face of the Earth. However, the remnants of our civilization, the buildings, cars, street lamps, would remain intact.
If any life survives a nearby explosion of a gamma ray burst, it would be the microbes that live deep under Earth's surface. There's some hope that life on Earth would continue, but bacteria will rule the world.
He's been called the most brilliant mind in physics since Albert Einstein. Who better to help guide us on our journey than Stephen Hawking, who has devoted his life to discovering the secrets of the universe. Professor Hawking suffers from Lou Gehrig's disease. He cannot speak. The only way he can communicate is by blinking his eyes, and that takes a while, so we sent him our questions last week, and we can hear his answers now with the help of a computer-generated voice. Professor Hawking, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to answer these questions. It's really been interesting to get your feedback. The universe, as you know, is a vast and powerful place with forces we're only now beginning to understand. Some of them, like gamma ray bursts, though extremely unlikely, are still capable of destroying our entire planet as well as us. What do these phenomena tell us about humanity's place in the universe?
Events like a nearby cosmic ray burst would be devastating to life on Earth, but they